Previously on Gutter Trash.
Jeff Loeb. Jeff Loeb. Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb. Jeff Loeb. Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb. Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb. Vagina.
Right, Gutter Trash number
15?
16.
16?
Yes. Wow,
Is
okay.
it?
I think so.
Okay.
Anyway, we don't know what fucking number we're on, but you'll hear this eventually.
Ooh.
And you'll know then. Because we won't. Or something. This is a problem, I guess, of doing too many shows in advance. I have no idea what we're doing anymore.
Yeah, we recorded episodes 20 through 45 yesterday.
I know.
We forgot this one. And
yeah.
going back.
It's just like how they do on Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Did they really? They record them that far in advance?
No, I don't know. All I know is that when you watch the Christmas episode, it's not really Christmas.
Oh, right, because Pat Sajak's in Tahoe with Regis Philbin and...
Yeah, you really don't expect that Pat Sajak and Alex Trebek would be hosting their show on Christmas Day.
Probably not.
If you think that, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Sorry to tell you. My name is Eric.
I'm Jason Young.
All right. How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice and full with my risotto.
I had good old homemade chicken and noodles. Not soup, just chicken and noodles.
The actual
meal.
Feline
yes.
and vegetable.
Feline?
I don't know.
Okay.
Poultry.
Poultry, yes, there we go. It was very light on the noodles, though.
Really?
Well, it was like there were 3 noodles, and they were huge noodles, but there was only like 3 of them.
They're like somebody's socks made out of noodles.
Kinda, yeah. I don't know about socks, but
they weren't that big.
Yeah, maybe condom.
All right. Okay.
We always go there.
One of us does. I'd never had risotto before. It was pretty darned and good. I might have it again.
I would. It looked good. I would like to try the non-faggoty kind.
The what? The what? Oh my gosh!
Find the non-homosexual kind.
You mean with meat?
Yes.
With meat. Okay. With dead things inside of it.
Yes.
I get you.
Dead, bloody things. No. I'm a fan of all you people.
Yeah. Do you have to call me you people?
Yes.
because that just means more meat for you.
Oh, it's true. Yeah. I do like the meat. No, I'm just kidding about everything.
Awesome.
Yes, I love the vegetarians. And enjoy vegetables myself on occasion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you eat them.
Yes.
On more than one occasion.
Yes. I try to have some with every meal. Except for breakfast. Because I don't eat breakfast.
Oh, you know what's really good vegetable-wise for breakfast? Like if you make eggs, little chopped up green peppers and onions.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Put that in there.
Hells yeah.
Maybe some, I don't know, maybe some garlic even.
Loves me a Western omelet.
Mm-hmm.
Get some tomatoes and green and red peppers, some onions and mushrooms, smothered in cheese. Of course,
Western ham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can substitute any other kind of pig product.
Oh, yeah. Bacon.
Except for pork.
Can you put bacon in an omelet?
Yes, you can.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen bacon with eggs plenty of times.
Right.
It's kind of like a classic.
Yeah.
But I've never seen bacon in an omelet.
Yeah, you just you can go the cheap, shitty way and do bacon bits. Or you can actually make bacon and cut it up into small chunks.
Bacon bits aren't even real bacon, though.
And sometimes it's not. Yeah.
I've had fake bacon. Morningstar, the vegetarian frozen guys.
I enjoy their veggie burgers.
Well, the weird thing about their bacon
and their veggie chicken, oddly enough.
See, I didn't like the veggie chicken.
Really?
But the veggie bacon, I've had it a couple times, and the weird thing is, like I've made it before for like me and my ex-girlfriend at the time, and so there's 10 pieces of bacon, right? I'm cooking them all, and they all have the exact same like color formation of like quote unquote fat. Like it's supposed to look like real bacon, but they all look identical. Like they're just off of a press that way. And
I'm guessing that it's real bacon. And you're killing things.
Actually, it tastes so terrible it can't be real.
Okay.
Because bacon tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had it in probably 12, 15 years, but I can still remember the taste of bacon, and it's pretty good. And the fake bacon is pretty bad. Like I like the fake sausage, but not the fake bacon.
I had the fake sausage. I think I made pancakes for us at one time. Mm. It's like we're a neat little gay couple. But and he brought over some veggie sausage, and I think I had one. And, I didn't
over here?
It. No, that one time over at my parents' house.
Oh, okay.
I don't cook here.
I don't remember that, but yeah, okay. That sounds familiar.
I cook at other people's houses. Mm. But, what was I saying?
I don't know.
Oh, the sausage. The veggie sausage. Yeah, I didn't like that. But I did like, at the 4th of July party you had, the Italian...
The veggie hot dog?
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, those were some sort of...
I think it was Italian sausage.
So like basil encrusted... It had some sort of spice and...
Yeah, it was Italian flavored.
Herbs.
As I've said like 5 times already. Yeah. Italian flavored.
Oh, I think it was Italian flavored, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah. That's been a while.
No shit.
Mm.
Yes. Man. Been reading a lot of comics lately, have you?
I read some.
Some? Yeah.
Not too many.
Picked up some yesterday for the first time in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, indulged myself a little.
You got a pretty good haul.
I did get a pretty good haul. I got the Booster Gold Showcase, which is like 26, 27 issues of a book, all in one.
It's probably 400 pages or something.
600 something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I like the idea of the showcases, and then like Marvel does the essentials and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just not a ton of them that I ever really want to read.
Mm-hmm. It seems like it'd be really good for creators who they just get a job doing, Dead Man, and they want to read every issue of Dead Man.
Right.
Except for there's no Dead Man showcase yet,
as I've heard.
Yeah, but
Matt was telling me yesterday.
Yeah, there's some weird ones too. There's Haunted Tank. There's Elongated Man has his own showcase.
Wow,
but no Dead Man yet.
Huh.
It's kind of weird. But yeah, I bet those would be really helpful. Like if you just wanted to spend $15 and read the entire history of some weird character.
I would like if DC ever put out like a Blue Devil showcase and Blue Beetle, obviously, because I loves the Blue Beetle.
Yeah, and Blue Velvet.
Yeah, I've actually never seen that. Because David Lynch is a hack.
They should make a Blue Velvet comic book. Now
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I'm made of steel. It bounces right off.
Right. Was I right? He did do Blue Velvet. Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure I get my
your hack film director.
Yeah.
Names
I got no problems with David Lynch. I just have yet to see a movie of his that I enjoy, other than Elephant Man.
Yeah, it was really good. His last movie was kind of crappy.
That's what I've heard. Not Mulholland. Inland Empire.
Inland Empire, yeah. I mean, if it was anyone other than him, I would say it was the most pretentious turd I've ever watched. But since it's him, like, in my...
You expect that?
I kind of expect pretentious and weird, but I honestly believe that it made complete sense in his mind, and he was like, yes, this is the movie I wanted to make, you know? Whereas a lot of people, if they make something like that, they're just trying to be artsy for the sake of being artsy.
Right.
But I believe he actually thinks it's, you know, coherent and...
Yeah, he's getting old.
Yeah.
He's like 60-something now. 63. Which, because, I saw that it was his birthday recently. He's 63
really?
years old. And it goes back to one of those things that I think of occasionally. My dad is 67 years old. So, like a 4-year age difference.
Between you and your dad?
Between...
Because you're 71.
Yes. No. Between my dad and David Lynch.
Oh, okay.
And also, I think, like, Lemmy Kilmister is like 65 or something like that.
Wow. That's insane.
And so I'm starting to think here, these guys who do awesome, legendary things, like, you know, fucking Motorhead, you know, and then David Lynch, you know, Eraserhead, Elephant Man, you know, all these innovative films, you know, and yet my dad is like the most conservative, straight arrow.
Yeah, like he mows the lawn.
He mows the lawn and he watches Walker, Texas Ranger, but that's only when there's not a Law and Order rerun.
Oh, man.
What is the difference?
What if Lemmy is a big Walker, Texas Ranger fan, and he mows the lawn?
That's fun.
But he also rocks out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, maybe your dad has this secret life. Maybe, you know, he's been publishing books under the name Chuck Palahniuk for the last few years.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't.
So you never know.
It's true.
Have you read Runaways? You just never know.
Anyway. But no, I mean, seriously, though, like, well, you know, what is it about, you know, my dad that he can come from this generation of people who were awesome and yet not do anything awesome and not even like anything that is awesome from that generation.
Did he ever experiment with drugs?
I have no idea.
Because I bet those other two guys did.
I'm sure. I think that's a safe bet.
You know, although it comes back to, I mean, maybe I'm just, you know, like glorifying David Lynch in my mind because I'm like, yeah, the Inland Empire probably makes sense, you know.
Right.
And I'm also thinking maybe he doesn't do drugs, you know. Maybe that's just like the way he views the world because he seems like a really odd guy even from his interviews.
I think I was watching. I haven't actually watched the movie yet, but you know, someday I will. Eraserhead.
Mm-hmm.
And on the DVD were some extras, and like an interview with him or something like that. And he really just had an aura of just so far up his own ass that.
Oh, really? I saw an interview it was on one of those. I think it was on his short films, and he just seemed kind of like a not a curmudgeon, but just like an older guy that would live in a real small town and like kind of keep to himself and have like 4 friends, you know.
Right, and then meanwhile has the dungeon or the crawl space full of little children's bodies.
Oh no, not David Lynch.
Lemmy though.
Lemmy probably has something like that, but he doesn't even know about it. He's like, I did what? I shouldn't have had those last 17 Percocets.
Yeah. Anyway. Yes. I'm trying my hardest to try to make this a better show than we've had in the past couple episodes.
Oh, are they bad? I haven't listened to the last couple yet.
I haven't. Well, the last one I listened to was Cabin Boy, which was all right, but I know the 2 after that are not so hot.
Oh, when we did the host, I gotta apologize. My brain was off that day. Like, right. I mean, like, I don't mean like a little off. I mean, like, it never turned on.
Right.
And I swear I sleepwalked through that whole day, and I couldn't think of anything logical or coherent or interesting all day long.
Right.
I was just completely comatose.
I Well, I know the Hulk versus the Thing episode. I was pretty down at the time, so I wasn't exactly my usual.
Yeah, that's right.
Jovial self. Plus, I didn't have anything to drink either. So, and then the host. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was kind of feeling that from you as well. That there's just not much to really.
I was out of it.
Yeah, I mean the movie was great, but
I could probably talk like an hour about that movie
right now. Yeah,
because it was really good. I just took it back to the library actually last night. That's where I got it from.
But yeah, hopefully today will be a better episode. I'm pretty excited about the book we're going to review.
When should we start the episode? Do you want to hit record?
Yeah, hang on. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Moment of Gutter Trash, episode 16, maybe. I'm Eric.
I'm Jason.
Yes. And today we're reviewing the comic, the eventual classic, Criminal, the first story arc, Coward.
Yeah.
By Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips.
Published by
an imprint of Marvel called Icon.
Yeah.
It's their creator-owned imprint for the select few who get invited.
How long has Icon been around?
They started publishing Powers.
Yeah, was it Powers? That's what I thought.
And Kabuki, and then this and some of Mark Millar's crap came.
Like Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass and his, stuff that I'll never read that came out from there too.
Are those like foreign Marvel comics? Are those Icon like Soul EA or whatever?
No, that's their
and some war book.
I don't know about the war book or not, but the Soleil is like them, like when DC was publishing the Humanoids books. Basically, like a deal.
They just
like
have
that.
their foreign line.
Right.
Okay.
A license to publish.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it right now. Criminal is the perfect comic book.
Okay. You say it.
I just did. Criminal is the perfect comic book.
Ooh.
I know I've talked to you. I don't know if I've ever said it on the show or not, but I've often said Jack Staff is my favorite comic book currently being published. And it is up to a point, because I think when you say just the phrase comic book to your average individual, even to some comic book fans, pretty much the only thing that they ever think of is, superhero spandex, guys in tights punching the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
And as far as that goes, Jack Staff is my favorite comic book.
Right.
But once you expand outside of the superhero, Criminal is the perfect comic book.
Wow. That's, high praise. I liked it. I'll say I liked it. Obviously, not quite as much as you did.
Yes.
But I enjoyed it. I'd never read it, and you had.
Yeah.
And you're, obviously a big fan.
Yes. Incredibly big fan.
And you forced me to read it.
Yes, I did. Well, let's see. You've actually owned this twice now.
Yeah, this is the second time I've owned it. I bought it like a year ago, and I forget. I don't even remember who I gave it to, but I gave it away. I think I just had it in this pile of books that, whenever people come over, it was like it was in the free chair. Do you remember the free chair?
Yeah, I remember the free chair.
And just anything that was piled on the chair was free. And I think I had that in there because I looked at it after I bought it, and I was like, I don't know, it doesn't really look that good. And I just put it in the free chair. And I just let somebody else take it. But I bought it again.
Yeah.
And
well, why did you buy it?
Because you told me to read it.
Well, you had it before that too.
Oh, well, yeah, that's right. I bought it because that's right. I forgot about that. I read Incognito, which I thought was amazing. I will say I liked Incognito a whole lot more than I liked Criminal. But
that's because you prefer superhero comics over every other type of comic.
That's true. I'm wearing my spandex right now. My Aquaman underoos are chafing my ass. But no, I really love bank robbing stories and heist stories. Like I'll watch any movie that has that premise. I don't care if it's Set It Off or The Heist or whatever. Anywhere in between. Ocean's 11. I don't care. The Killing. I like all those movies. I really enjoy that genre. But for me, that works so much better in film than it does in comics because of the action and the suspense that usually goes with those kind of stories. Although I thought they did a pretty good job, and I did like it. I will say, like, halfway through it, I remember thinking, I'm not going to like this nearly as much as I'm supposed to, because everybody that I know that's really into, like, the whole gamut of comics that likes, superheroes and small press and everything in between, they hail it as awesome, and it seems like something I should think is awesome, but I just think it's good.
All right. I will give you that. It's the first story arc that came out. It is. I'm not going to say it's weak, because it's not. I love it. I love this story. I love the character.
Right.
Leo Patterson is the main character in the story arc.
He is the coward.
He is the coward in question, yes. But not really a coward. Just cautious.
Right. It's like one of those nicknames like Tiny or
not even that.
Or Zippy.
No, Zippy's is pretty appropriate. At least for our Zippy.
Not Zippy the Pinhead.
Not Zippy the Pinhead.
Zippy the
guy who lives with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who that is. It's not one of those ironic nicknames. It's the main character is basically incredibly cautious. He is like one of the best pickpockets and thieves currently working, and that's his backstory basically.
Right.
His dad and his dad's partner were two of the best to ever work, and they trained him.
Let me say I love that scene too, where they flash back to him as a little kid, and they're like teaching him how to pickpocket. And
right.
I love that. That was really good.
But he has a set of rules when he does jobs, and because of his rules that he strictly follows, everyone labels him as a coward. He's not a coward. He just doesn't want to go to jail.
Right.
Which I would think is pretty fucking smart.
Yeah. Basically, his rules, the ones that label him a coward in some people's eyes, they're like they get him out of situations. He can like smell trouble before most people because he's
so aware of everything around him. Yeah.
So everybody looks at him like a coward because he's always running away, but he's never getting arrested either.
Exactly. So. And I was going somewhere with this, wasn't I?
About why he's called coward.
Yeah, something before that I thought. Oh well, fuck it. I think I was just talking about how much I really like the character, and I think it is because the qualities that he has in the book. I sort of remember where I was leading to. Basically, I was almost going to call this like the weakest criminal story arc so far.
Okay, right.
But I think it's really unfair to say that because with this we're just starting and we're focusing on that one character, and he's a great character, and I can't wait for him to show up again later. But once you read like the second story arc, even though it's focusing on a completely different set of characters, you're still getting more backstory for just the entire clusterfuck of what's going on in this comic.
Okay.
And you learn, like, names are thrown out in this story arc that, like you know that they kind of mean something to Leo.
Right.
But you don't know fully who those characters are or what they actually mean to anyone. But then in the second arc we get, like, a broader picture painted of who those characters are.
Yeah, I remember there's a couple of scenes where I think it's with Greta and Leo where they mentioned something that went bad a while back, and I was like, I bet that's something that they'll come back to later. Right.
Yeah, there's that, and they mentioned a character by the name of Ricky a lot. Ricky Lawless.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And the Lawless family, even. And the second story arc is actually called Lawless, and it's about that family and how they tie into the entire history of the city. And then the third story arc, which is actually where the numbering on the series restarted, was actually 3 separate single-issue stories, but they all tell the same story from different perspectives.
Oh, cool.
And you get, like, just this... And it all takes place in, like, 1972.
Okay.
And you just get, like, a really big, in-depth feel for everything that's leading up to what we're currently reading with the Coward story arc and with Lawless. And
So did they start the numbering over because the time changed, or was that just a typical Marvel thing where they're like, number ones?
I don't think it's a typical Marvel thing, just because, even though it's published through Marvel, it's still pretty much Ed Brubaker's book. And he wanted to restart it. I know at the end of the second story arc, they kind of ceased publishing for a while, so Sean Phillips could go do Marvel Zombies 2.
Oh, that's right. He drew that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And so basically, when the 6 months break that took, they just decided to restart it, and they had a new format for the series after that as well.
And he was... Brubaker was busy writing like every other Marvel book that Bendis wasn't writing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I am a really big fan of Ed Brubaker.
Mm-hmm.
I've liked his work since I first, discovered his work.
Yeah.
I think it was Dead Enders.
Okay.
No, it was Scene of the Crime.
I never read that.
It was a 4-issue Vertigo series in like the late 90s with Michael Lark, and I think Sean Phillips inked it. And he currently works with Michael Lark on Daredevil.
Yeah, wasn't there some reference to Michael Lark in here? Like, there's something called the Lark or something?
I don't know. I don't recall.
I could have swore I saw that when I was reading it.
I know the bar that they hang out, but that's called the Undertow.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I can't either.
I thought I remember seeing Lark in here somewhere.
Maybe there was a hotel or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
There. But no, I've been a big fan of Brubaker since I first started seeing the crime. That led into Dead Enders, and I found the Complete Lowlife.
Yeah,
which
I like that a lot.
I love that. And there's another graphic novel he did called The Fall. It was like serialized in like Dark Horse Presents or somewhere like that.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
It's really good.
He's a busy guy.
He is a busy guy. But his Marvel work, I haven't read too much of what he's done with Marvel. I read Daredevil just because I've been reading Daredevil since I was 13 years old. So, I was pretty much guaranteed to read Daredevil no matter who was writing it.
And then, added bonus, somebody you liked was writing it.
Exactly. I only just 2 weeks ago started reading Captain America, which is good, but it's not great by any stretch.
Really?
It's solid, but it's nothing I could.
Which ones are you reading? The Red Menace or the?
I read the Winter Soldier. That story.
That's right. That's the one.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that first Red Menace trade.
That's the one that's missing. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which one it was.
And it was all right, but it's Captain
Just
America.
a decent Captain America story with awesome Steve Epstein art.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I like Steve Epstein.
Yeah. I love Iron Fist when he was writing that with Matt Fraction. That was awesome. I thought his X-Men stuff was pretty fucking terrible.
Brubaker?
Yeah.
I didn't know he did X-Men.
Yeah. Not currently, but he was on it for a few years.
Like Uncanny?
I believe so. He did the. I know he did the Deadly Genesis story.
Oh wow!
It was pretty fucking terrible.
Usually X-Men stories are I enjoyed the Grant Morrison ones, but even those I was like, I can't believe I'm reading the X-Men.
Right.
I enjoyed them; they're good, but yeah, I usually don't. I don't even read the Brian K. Vaughan ones or the Robert Kirkman ones because
Brian K. Vaughan ones are good. That was Ultimate X-Men.
Yeah.
And the Robert Kirkmans were all right, but you're just better off reading any of Kirkman's creator own stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's how I felt. I read one of the Brian K. Vaughan ones, and I was like, this was okay, but like I haven't really been into the X-Men in years and years.
I grew up as an X-Men fan, basically. Like when I rediscovered comics, just before my teenage years, the X-Men was like the thing that really got me hardcore back into comics. Because when you're a little kid, your mom buys you comics, just to shut you up in the car. And,
Right.
But when I started like going out of my way to try to get comics, the X-Men was like the first thing that I really got into.
Uh-huh.
And so there's that nostalgia thing. That, I love the X-Men, and I want to love the X-Men.
Yeah. Okay.
But
it's hard to do sometimes.
it's hard to do 98% of the time.
Okay. Well, let me just be devil's advocate and throw out a couple things I didn't like about this book.
Okay, go for it.
I was so excited whenever they started doing the stuff with the Frank Kafka Private Eye in the paper,
Right.
where there's like secret messages in the newspaper.
Yeah.
And it looks like it was about heroin, and the drug dealers somehow put it in there. And they never really did anything with it. And I thought that was such a neat thing that they could have. I mean, not necessarily revolved the story around, but just fleshed it out a little bit, so there was something more to that.
I will agree that I kind of wish there had been more.
Mm-hmm.
The most recent story arc actually revolves around the artist of that strip.
Okay, well that makes a little more sense then.
Yeah.
If it's
so like I said, it's like everything in this
they
is
keep
like,
it going,
leading up to like other stories and
right. And then like you mentioned Lowlife, and how we both read that.
Yeah.
And it's sort of it's Ed Brubaker doing an autobiographical comic,
right?
So you see who he is and everything. And after reading that, it was hard for me not to laugh whenever this like drug kingpin says, "Motherfuck me in the ass, you came through," and I was like, this nerdy white guy who worked at a comic book shop wrote those words, and I realized that most movies and crime stories are written by
nerdy white guys,
probably nerdy white guys.
Yeah.
But I knew that this one was, and it was just hard for me to read some of this dialogue.
On the other hand, he may be a nerdy white guy and he may have worked at a comic shop, but he was also pretty much a despicable human being.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
It's called Lowlife for a reason.
Yeah. I remember some things in there that were pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
the letters, because I buy these in single issues, because I support the little guy whenever I can, and plus he has like articles and shit in the single issues,
extra stuff, right?
Yeah. And in one of the letters columns, someone asked him if Leo was not just a sort of slightly fictionalized, more grown-up version of Lowlife Ed Brubaker.
Uh-huh. It kind of even looks like him a little.
A little bit, yeah. So, there are some parallels, but, there are also... I didn't like that guy, Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty much like your generic...
Pretty stereotypical.
Ving Rhames wannabe.
Yeah.
Black gangsta guy. Yeah.
But I did sort of get the feeling, like you said, that this was the first of a series where they're like, testing out the different directions and seeing how deep the water is over here, and it does make me want to read the second one, even though I guess disappointed is an appropriate term, just because like it was built up a lot. Not just from you, but from a lot of people, and I liked it, but I didn't love it.
So, kind of like how I felt about The Dark Knight, except for the fact that I hated The Dark Knight.
Yeah, kind of like that.
All right.
Because one crime book that's, this sort of reminded me of that I like a whole lot is Stray Bullets. It kind of reminded me of that. Mm-hmm. But Stray Bullets is kind of, it's kind of more over the top.
Yeah.
And I think that works really well if you're going to do a story like this in comics. Because like I was saying earlier, like crime and gunshot kind of stories, I think personally I like them a lot better on film, when you can just see everything moving and hear it all. And the music adds a lot to the suspense of something like that to me.
I've come to sort of realize that, I love horror movies and I love superhero comics and all that. And, as much of a fan as I am of those type of genres, I've sort of always been like, I'm not going to say closeted, but like quiet crime genre fan. Like, like I'll watch pretty much any crime movie that, is out, and like, if there's a crime comic out, like, I'll try to go out of my way to read it. Mm-hmm. And it's not like I'm really overt about it. I'm not like, noir. But I love that shit.
Do you read X-Men Noir, Spider-Man Noir?
I'm waiting for the trade for the noir books. If you don't get this reference,
go to NPR.com and listen to...
Find the Frank Miller Spirit interview.
Where he's drunk off his ass.
Yes, I hope he was.
Yeah. That or he just had a lobotomy.
Right. One of the two, and both of them pretty much explain that fiasco.
I was talking... My cousin Casey, did I tell you this? She said that The Spirit was really good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, so who am I to judge?
Right.
But it looks so terrible.
Yes, it does. But we're not going to badmouth any other comic for another week.
Especially if I haven't seen it. That's just wrong.
Ooh. Beer.
What are we drinking?
Beer and mushrooms.
Yeah, what are we drinking?
It's kind of gross.
Rising Moon.
Rising Moon, the spring Blue Moon selection.
I know, springtime already.
It's fucking not even February yet.
Yeah. I know, it's like hovering around 10 degrees back and forth up and down. Today was a little warmer.
It was like 55 degrees out today.
Yeah.
But yesterday it was like 20.
But it's like 30 degrees out there now.
Right,
It's back down. It's supposed to be even colder tomorrow. I think it's like 20 tomorrow.
It's supposed to get really low tomorrow and continue really low, and we're, I guess, heading for another big snowstorm.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's my week to drive to work. Fuck yeah!
Commuting down south.
Yeah. Well, down south it'll be warmer there, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 45 minutes down there. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'll definitely... I'll read another Criminal Trade, even if I'm not forced to. Yeah. I'll check it out.
I'll lend you the other one, so you don't have to go buy the other charity.
Sweet. I was going to return this one, but I put it in my backpack today. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can really see it in here, but
it bent.
Yeah, I rode my bike around for a while, and I had it in the backpack in case I just stopped here before going home, and I kind of crushed it with something or other. I don't know what I had in there, but
beer.
No, I didn't have any beer. I didn't have any beer. I was like, I just won't even bring any beer. It's such a nice day. I'll ride my bike and I'll drink water, and then I ended up getting the beer.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. I mentioned the articles, which I think are like a really nice added bonus for buying it on a monthly basis.
It probably helps give it that pulp feel too that they're going for.
Yeah, and I know with the new format, that's really something that you wanted to do, is basically turn it into not more of a magazine, but just aiming a little bit towards that still.
I like that mixture.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like interviews with other crime writers. There's he did like sort of a roundtable discussion with like some of his colleagues and some of his favorite writers,
his mentors.
Yeah, well, I don't know about mentors, but like Chuck Houston and Warren Ellis and Matt Fraction, some other crime writers, and Greg Rucka was on. Patton Oswalt.
Oh yeah, the famous crime writer.
Yes. No, Patton Oswalt, I guess, is like a huge noir fan. And he wrote an article about like a really obscure movie in I think like issue 2 or 3.
Really?
And it actually sounds really good. And Brubaker came back like 2 issues later after watching it and said it's really one of the best noir movies he's ever seen.
Yeah, I think he wrote something in that Goon Noir trade too.
Yeah,
Patton Oswalt did.
Yes, good. Yep.
So maybe he is a fan.
He could be. Well, we definitely know he's a comic fan.
Yeah.
And he's a pretty funny guy, too.
Yeah, he's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah.
Even when he's on... What show is he on? King of Queens.
King of Queens.
Yeah. That's so weird.
You know, there's a lot of good people who are on really shitty television shows.
Yeah. Yeah, I never understood why Sandy Duncan did Hogan's Family. She was capable of so much more. Wow. But anyway.
Yes. Yes, I'm sticking with it. You know, the first story arc has its flaws, but otherwise, I think as a whole, Criminal is the perfect comic for me.
It was pretty good.
I love it like I love so many other things in life. Like
Jello pudding.
I do not like Jello pudding. I don't like any other thing in life, but I love Criminal.
Well, that's all you need.
Yes. Any other... we haven't nearly talked about Sean Phillips at all.
Oh, yeah, he's a good artist.
He is a great artist. I like his stuff. When he was doing Hellblazer, like 10 years ago, he was my favorite artist ever at the time.
It kind of reminds me if Charlie Adler knew how to draw.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's
cruel.
That's harsh. No, but what reminded me of that, there was one scene here where Greta makes this face. It was right when she calls him a coward.
Yeah.
Where's that? Where I couldn't really tell if she was, like, gasping or whatever, and I was like, oh, wow, that kind of reminds me of Charlie Adler. And, like, that's whenever it hit me because I couldn't quite tell.
As I was saying, when he was doing Hellblazer, he was, like, my favorite artist of all time. At that point in time. I think he's slipped from that position quite a bit, but I still think he's really fantastic.
Did he have the same style back then?
It's a little different style. He's got like a lot more like brush strokey.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's cool.
Yeah, I do know that. I think he pretty much just goes straight to ink.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, that's
wow.
Yeah,
it's pretty. I couldn't even do that, and I draw like cartoony stickmen. I'm not making fun of him, and I Charlie Adler, whatever. You know, he's all right. I'm not trying to give Charlie Adler a bad name either, but it reminds me of Charlie Adler, only like just more fine tuned or something.
Right.
Same kind of feel.
I get you. He does have a variety of different styles that he executes throughout the book.
I like that dream sequence.
There's a dream sequence. For the articles, he usually does like an illustration, and they're like fully painted or like sketchy as fuck.
Really?
Like in the second story arc, there's a sequence, like a flashback sequence, but it's done like in really detailed like pencil shading. So I mean,
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
There's that Greta Dreams sequence.
Yeah,
that was pretty
done
cool.
in like watercolor and yeah. The covers for the book, I don't know if that has the covers printed in them or not. Like the covers for the single issue for this story arc, they really reminded me of like 1985 era Epic Comics kind of feel.
Oh, okay.
Like,
the Marvel Epic line?
Yeah, like...
oh, you got them right there.
Yeah. Like they just kind of have that like...
There's
something about them.
Okay, yeah.
And
they look a little. The color is really good on those.
Yeah. And
don't you wish you could see this?
I know.
Whoever is actually listening.
But then, like the second story arc, the covers look completely different. Like they're really contrasty, very like almost monochrome. Like he picked one color and then just used like white and black to accentuate it,
right?
And like very graphic designy looking.
Yeah, that's. I was thinking they were more designy, where those are like bleeding off the page and like kind of exciting.
Yeah, these are very illustrative, like painterly.
They kind of look like old movie posters.
Yeah, and the new one looks like more like like postcards or something like that. Yeah, I don't know if that's correct or not, but.
I like this Gnarly character. I hope he shows up again.
Gnarly, well, in the first issue, there's a text story with Gnarly.
Oh, cool.
And then his story is basically told in the the first issue of the second volume.
Oh, I want to read that.
Yeah,
because it shows him closing up the undertow of the bar.
Yeah,
and he's like writing. He's just like chilling out writing.
Yeah,
and it makes me think like he's going to be like writing stories like this, or maybe he even does the Frank Kafka. I don't know.
Yeah, he does not.
Okay,
but he and the backup story in that first issue, the text piece, he mentions that he's pretty literate. Like he's read like a lot of old time literature, and but he's also a former Golden Gloves boxer. I'm
gonna have to read that.
He's
that
a really interesting character. I'll let you borrow the singles too.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Wow, we did it. We talked for a full episode about it.
Wow.
For the most part.
I mean, we talked like about breakfast for about half an hour. But
well, still, a lot more exciting than the host. We're just struggling.
We're like, the host. It was a good movie. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
I don't want to talk about the host, though.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed after we watched it, because we were debating before we watched it whether we wanted to watch it with subtitles or watch the dubbed version.
Yeah.
I tested the dubbed version.
How was that?
Wow. Okay, the opening of the movie starts with like the asshole American, because America's evil.
Yeah.
The asshole American guy, like telling the Korean guy to dump all the toxic chemicals.
Yeah.
And they're both speaking English. In the dubbed version, even the guy who is Korean is dubbed. Even though he's
they dub over his English. Is it with like an
American actor voice? Yeah.
I bet a lot of people, like if somebody bought that at Walmart with their Cheerios or whatever, they probably appreciate the fact that everything sounds all American to them,
right?
Even talking in English, if they're from another country.
Well, it's like, but I mean, seriously, this is like the biggest evidence that I have that you should never watch the dubbed version, because the dialogue is terrible. Like,
they change it?
Yeah. There's that scene in the beginning where the guy is like leaning off of the bridge and he's like looking into the water, and he like spots the monster in it. And in the subtitles, with the Korean language, he's saying, like, do you see it? It's huge, and the guys are trying to get him to come off of the bridge, and he says, you're a bunch of fools, and I hope you have a good life, and he jumps off the bridge. In the dubbed version, he's looking into the water and he sees the thing, and the guys who are trying to get him off the bridge, they don't see it. And he's like, "You guys are a bunch of fucking idiots!" And he jumps off. And he's like, "I hope you rot in hell!"
Oh wow, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that scene was actually kind of like dark and powerful.
Yeah,
and they turned it into like a
wacky comedy.
Yeah,
there's another guy killing himself on a bridge.
I mean, that is funny.
Oh, of course, I laugh all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. So no dubbed, never again.
No dubbed, never again. If you watch the dubbed movie, you are a bad person.
Unless you're up really late at night and your head just hurts and you want to...
No, you're just a bad person.
Okay. I'm with you. You've won me over.
Alright, man, I gotta take a leak, so...
Yeah, I gotta take another beer.
Alright, get me one too.
Okay.
Alright.
Asset seeker, a sunshine eater, a tight-fisted fellow with a long gray beard. You're a counterfeit gangster. You're every slinger that I ever fought. You're a sinful speaker, a riot leader. You got the devil broth spilling from your ear. Get a job, kill the joy. Feed your mother's face. Get a job, kill the joy. feed your mother's face. And the jazz at my cabin was turned around to face the punk. Burned up, pulverized, eliminator eliminates. And the jazz at my cabin was turned around to face the punk. Burned up, pulverized, eliminator eliminates. You're a rhythm killer. You're 2250, ain't worth scope as ink. Your rhymes are hinting fruitcakes. Your lips are bologna strips. You're a sly dog licker, a smooth little devil in a godly dress. Go back to Jackersville. Take a look at your eyes. Go back to Jackersville. Take a look at your eyes. And the jazz at my cabin was turned around to face the punk. Burned up, pulverized, eliminator eliminates. And the jazz at my cabin was turned around to face the punk. Burned up, pulverized, eliminator eliminates.
Alright, welcome back.
This is the last. This is the last of the beers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say this is the last episode.
Yeah, I figured I'd wait until now to tell you.
Oh, man.
I'm joining the Amish community.
Oh, man. Well, will you at least make me some new furniture?
Sure. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And if it turns out that whole technology thing is bullshit, we can still do the podcast.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I've seen Amish people driving cars and on cell phones before. So.
Yeah. And this guy that played an Amish guy on this episode of Sledgehammer was also in an episode of Cheers. So I'm thinking.
The Amish thing is bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck the Amish. Bunch of fucking liars.
I don't even know if they're real.
No, they're not.
It might have just
they're
been
like the Gideons.
Who?
Gideons?
The guy from X-Force?
No, that guy's real. But the guys who leave Bibles in hotel rooms?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're like ninja.
They are?
Yeah.
They don't...
According to Bill Hicks, anyway. Because, as he said, have you ever fucking seen a Gideon?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Exactly.
Ooh, wow. Yeah. I've met some Mormons. I even...
we all have.
I used to hang out with 4 Mormons, and not at the same time. But, because you only know Mormons in pairs. You don't know, 2 Mormons, or well, I guess that is a pair.
Yeah, that is a pair. Yeah.
You don't know, 1 Mormon or 3 Mormons. You know 2 or you know 4. You know?
I'm trying to think.
Oh, no.
No, I didn't know because...
you knew 6 of them.
You may be right. Because, I guess... even though I was friends with, one, does, his family count if I knew who they were, too?
His family? They're not all Mormons, are they?
Well, there's, 50 kids in a brood, isn't there?
It's a brood of Mormons?
Yeah.
There's all these X-Men references. The brood,
I was...
Number 166? 266? 266.
I don't know, I was talking about David Cronenberg's.
Oh, the brood, okay.
Yeah.
I think it is 166.
Yeah. Hatch Jack, he knows.
So you knew some Mormons?
When I worked at the movie theater, we had I believe there were 3 Mormons working there, if not more, that I just didn't know about. I was pretty good friends with one of them, because he was probably like the most un-Mormon-like person that I ever met.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he was a recovering cocaine addict, and
Did he do the door-to-door thing, or was he just raised Mormon?
like his family was Mormon, and like he was talking about like when he got out of high school, he was going to try to do the whole missionary thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
they have to do it, don't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, sometime eventually.
Yeah. Now that I mention it, I had a friend in high school who was Mormon, so like who didn't work at the theater.
I guess
So I knew like 5.
Now that you
Mormons.
mention it, I know a 5th Mormon. Damn it! This guy named Cliff that used to work at Mavericks, he was a Mormon.
I remember him.
Yeah, but he wasn't on a mission. The other 4 I knew were on. Like I knew Elder Walser and Elder Guglielmo, and they were pretty cool. They lived in the apartment next to this the spot where we had our band practice, next to my friend's house, apartment or whatever. And they always hung out and had their Jesus posters, and they were really cool guys. And then I met these other 2 Mormons at my house. Now they like knocked on my door, and I let them in and I talked to them. And one of them was Elder Pruitt, and the other one was what the fuck was his name? Oh, I can't remember the other one's name. But they were all 3 or all 4 really cool guys.
Yeah.
It's strange.
I knew Rahul.
Rahul?
Yeah.
Elder Rahul?
No, just Rahul. None of them were on mission yet. Because I was still in high school, so we were all just still learning stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The cokehead that I knew was his name was Ben.
Ben?
Yeah.
Ben the cokehead.
Ben the cokehead would also be prone to the occasional acid flashback, which was pretty funny to exploit.
How's it?
Because
Like when he gets in the...
he would get into the flashback mode, and then
The
he
zone.
could just pretty much fuck with him, and he would just freak the shit out.
That seems like illegal.
Yeah, probably. And the guy was like 2 years younger than me, or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it wasn't like a veteran.
No, he was like 16 years old.
Yeah, well then
Yeah.
fuck with him. Yeah, fuck with those guys.
Yeah. And then I knew Amy and Stephanie, who were sisters.
Mormon girls?
Yeah. Stephanie was pretty fucking hot.
Even for a Mormon.
Even for a Mormon. There was one who was probably the biggest bitch that I've ever met in my entire life. I can't remember her name because, fuck her, I hope she's dead.
Man. Excuse me.
That's what you get when you be a bitch.
You know the Mormons, the first 2 that I met that were in the apartment next to my friend's apartment, you could see in their window, and all they had in there, they had like, I think they had cots. I don't even think they had beds in there. And they had this giant picture of Jesus on the wall, and then a giant... Or no, the Jesus wasn't that big. It was a normal-sized, normal Jesus picture. But they had a giant map of the city of Dayton, so they could just figure out their whole, route. And that was all they had. I was like, man, cots, Jesus on a map of Dayton, Ohio. It's hard to imagine.
I went over to my friend Raul's house once, and he had like a pool table and a ping pong table. And, he had to tell me before we came in that I wasn't allowed to swear, though.
Like if you missed a shot, you were like, fuck.
Yeah, well, just in general, I wasn't allowed to swear at all. Because they were pretty hardcore. I've very rarely been ever asked not to swear.
Yeah.
Like occasionally, I try to stop myself. Obviously, I'm not doing it today.
Yeah.
But
like if your grandma's around or something.
Right. Well, that's I never swear in front of my parents or anything like that.
I hear it's bad to do when you're on trial too.
Yeah, I didn't swear when I was on trial, so
yeah. Okay.
I know when to stop it,
mm-hmm.
but occasionally I just kind of let myself go as well. So occasionally need to be reminded that I should probably not,
because you're not a Mormon.
Because I'm not a Mormon, and I didn't want to offend his mom.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, I think my point was 100% of the Mormons I've met, I kind of liked. I think they're pretty cool.
I would say, well, except for that one, I guess 1 out of 5. What percentage is that?
60, 80%. Yeah,
80% of the Mormons I've met have been great people, and God bless them.
I mean, I remember Elder Walser was he was kind of a little bit more of a stick in the mud than Elder Guglielmo.
Yeah.
They were both funny, but every once in a while his Mormon ways would just drag him away from reality. And he's all right. I bet he's doing good now. He's probably at a titty bar in Tijuana right now.
Yeah.
He's like,
I just remember me and Washer, who was Ben. I always called him Washer. We would hang out till 3 in the morning in the movie theater parking lot and go to Myers and look for beard trimmers and shit. I don't know. That's one specific thing I remember doing with him.
Not like every week. Hey,
not every week.
Want to go look for beard trimmers again?
Yeah. Just that once.
Yeah.
He and I went to go see Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie.
Oh, was that This Island Earth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it was at the Neon. So I didn't park at the parking garage or anything like that, and I don't think you're allowed to park in the Elbows parking lot or anything.
Yeah.
So I parked at the Arby's.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right there. And we got out of the movie, which was great, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're sitting on the corner so we can cross the street, and we were just bullshitting back and forth to each other and trying to figure out where we're going to go for dinner and stuff like that.
Where are you going to buy your beard trimmer?
And of course the beard trimmers. And all of a sudden, behind me, you know that feeling that you get when you know that something is really close to you.
Oh, yeah.
And, out of your
that creepy kind of ghost-like.
I got that feeling, and then all of a sudden I just hear.
It was Frank Miller being interviewed?
Yes. No, it could have been. So, I just sort of slowly turn, and there's, this really ancient-looking hobo woman.
Ooh.
Just, covered in, soot.
Aw.
And she was, standing, behind me, but to my right. And, she was just kind of, shaking.
Aww.
And she had, the crazy eyes.
That's creepy.
And she was just and I just kind of look at her, and I look over at Washer, and we just fucking dart right across the street. And he's just get in the fucking car! Get in the fucking car!
The Mormon? Oh, maybe she was an angel sent to test him, and he failed.
Oh, of course he failed.
Yeah. Oh, that poor old lady. It's kind of sad.
Well, whatever. Hobos are either just creepy or funny. Not sad.
Usually creepy.
Mostly creepy.
You mean not just homeless, but the actual
hobos.
Train hopping hobos. There's a train that goes right by the neons.
I know.
Hoboing is a lost art.
Yes,
I think it's one thing that used to be not really highbrow, but I'd say a large percentage of hoboers.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's some weird word like hoobotters for people that used to do that. You never know. But I bet there was a lot of people that were more into just adventure and cheaply traveling. Now it's mostly weird drug addict, lost souls.
I'm pretty sure there was the fair share of those as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I'm sure there was a larger percentage of people that were just I'm getting out of this town. There's adventure for me. I got green pants. And they just hopped on and rode west.
I used to play an online game called Hobo Wars. And there were no graphics or anything. It was a text-based game, but you were a hobo, and you could travel around the city and search through trash to find food, and you could get weapons and attack other hobos and beg for money and you'd play the game and you'd wind up with $2,000 and I'd be thinking, man, I really wish I was a hobo in real life.
Yeah,
if I'm making $2,000, I could get a day in the game.
Man, what was that terrible? There's this terrible movie. Oh my gosh. It was like Crocodile Hunter, except it was with bums. What what was the show Crocodile Hunter called? Was it called Crocodile?
It was called Crocodile Hunter, I think. Yeah.
Well, there's this guy that looked exactly like what was his name? Steve Irwin. Yeah, he looked seriously, exactly like Steve Irwin. Dressed like him, had the same fucking haircut and everything. Same face, and he would go around, and it was like these skater kids made these videos.
Bum fights.
That's what it was. and they would. Well, there was a section of it. And I mean, this is terrible, right? It made me feel so hollow inside when I watched this. But he goes along and he finds a sleeping like homeless guy, and he's like, "Oh, crikey, there's one right now!" And he like sneaks up on the guy and like starts wrapping tape around him, and the guy's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like he's waking up in the middle of the night, and this guy with a camera, or like his friend with a camera, and the Steve Irwin looking guy's wrapping him up with tape, and they like, It was so degrading and surreal. It blew my mind.
Wow.
Bum fights. Check it out. Don't give them any money. But if your friend Carl has it, totally watch it.
Yeah.
Don't support its existence though, with your money.
So, speaking of homeless people in movies, and homeless people at the Neon movies, it's my turn to pick a movie.
Yeah.
Well, originally, like, when I thought of the book that I picked for this week, Criminal, by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, read it.
Or Stray Bullets, either one.
Read both.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. That's a new time for change. Support your Obama.
Yes.
Oh, he was elected president this week. Okay.
Oh, inaugurated.
Or inaugurated, yeah.
And he's been in, like, 17 comics.
I'm so dumb when it comes to words.
You do all right.
Okay. Yeah, you're right though. He's been in every comic book. I saw him swimming around in the background of Namor.
Yeah.
Dark Depths. It was just weird.
Well, that's weird because that was actually an unofficial crossover with Aquaman, because Obama's an Aquaman character.
Is he?
Yeah. He's from Aquaman's Atlantis. He was his right hand man. He was the king's main number one guy.
Yeah.
So for him to show up in Namor, it was
like
a pretty sneaky crossover there.
It's like Contest of Champions multiplied by Invasion.
I know.
Oh man, you were doing this great segue too. I'm sorry.
It's all right. We have a new president. It's exciting because he could be better than the last one, hopefully.
He could be Jesus and an alien.
That is pretty much the reaction I seem to be getting from everyone else.
and he stimulates the economy. Because this is funny. I watched the inauguration at work, and my boss is not an Obama fan.
Yeah, I've noticed.
He's a McCain fan.
Yeah.
And a Bush fan, even.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I was like, I'm going to turn on the inauguration. It's about to come on in like 10 minutes. And we found it online, and I couldn't find it. I'd looked for it, and everything I found was like 1,000 people were trying to download it. And Matt actually found a good one, and we watched it. And Jack was like, I don't know, everybody thinks he's just going to save the world and instantly change everything, and this is, he's just another corrupt, guy.
He has been president for like 4 days now, and I'm still broke.
Yeah. Well, this
what
is...
the fuck?
This is... That's true. Well, this is the funny part, though.
All right.
We just sit there and watch the inauguration. I mean, not a single phone call, not a single customer, because everyone's watching it, right? And,
or at work like I was, but anyway.
And so, I'm not kidding. Excuse me. 5 seconds after he's sworn in, this guy walks in the store. He's not in our store 60 seconds, and he spends $200, which is like $200 more than we've done that day to that point. And I was like, see, Jack? Here it comes. Our economy is stimulated.
Yeah. And plus, think of all the people selling his comic book appearances on eBay for like $75 and shit.
We've sold like 200 copies of Amazing Spider-Man that we would never have sold. If George Bush was on Spider-Man, well, what do you think that would do for it?
You'd have it in those shelves that you hide stuff in.
Yeah, like our Legacy of Superman.
Yeah.
And X-Men #1.
Yeah.
Jim Lee edition.
Anyway. So, when I was picking the movie we were going to see, when I picked Criminal as the book we were going to read, like almost immediately I picked the movie too, and I had one in mind, and then one day, like I was just sort of Googling around, and I was really curious about like when a certain movie was going to open, if it was ever going to come to Dayton, and found that it's coming next week, and said, "Hey, that's perfect timing when we're going to do an episode again."
Ooh.
So the movie that I'm going to pick is completely different than what I originally had in mind. But it's a movie that I really, really want to see, and it's Darren Aronofsky's The Wrestler.
Yes.
With Mickey Rourke.
I've been wanting to see that for a while now.
It opens next Friday at the Neon, which is, of course, the local art house theater, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Especially when they actually get movies that we want to watch.
I see. This is a prime example where, like, you drive by the Neon every week and you see, like, Flowers from Eden or whatever, like sappy, like estrogen-loaded movie that some
from like Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, it's a Czechoslovakian coming-of-age political drama about a piano player. Like, I don't want to see that shit. But yeah, they're the only ones that'll bring you The Wrestler, which yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I want to see that movie really bad. Yeah. What were you originally going to pick, or are you going to save it?
No, I'll go ahead and say it, because, it's kind of funny, because I actually had it at the top of my Netflix queue for this week, because I was going to watch it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking Netflix just skipped over it.
That's the second time they've screwed you over.
Fourth.
Oh. Second time in the last week, though.
Yeah. Well, this has all been in the past month.
What is wrong with Netflix?
I don't know. I'm thinking, like, whatever movie I want to watch next, and I'm just going to put it in my number 2 slot.
There you go. Yeah. You can beat them at their own game.
Exactly. No, the movie I was going to pick is Charlie Varick. It's a crime noir movie to fit with the criminal.
Oh.
It stars Walter Matthau as a thief.
He was good back in the 60s, 50s?
It's early 70s.
70s. Wasn't he in
Walter Matthau is always good.
Even in Out to Sea and that kind of shit?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what was it? There was some movie.
The material was beneath him.
That's true. Excuse me. Was it Manchurian Candidate? We talked about this before. Charade? It was one of those old movies.
Charade.
Was it Charade that he was in? Yeah, he's good in those old old school movies.
Walter
Matthau, spy
kind of pretty awesome. Yep. Well,
the couch trip.
Yeah, we're running way too long here. So.
Oh, okay. Might have to edit some.
I'm not going to do that, but
don't talk crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here.
All right.
So The Wrestler next week.
The Wrestler, awesome.
Yes,
I'm there.
Sweet, you should be, because we've got to talk about it.
Yeah, I will be. I will be.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Yes.
Gutter Trash can be downloaded at www.guttertrash.net, iTunes, Podcast Alley, and FeedBurner. You can also find us at myspace.com/guttertrash_net, seanborn.net, and buyerbewarecomics.blogspot.com. Contact us at eric@guttertrash.net or jason@guttertrash.net. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. We'll see you next time.